recessional, we should just stay here. Because it's the processional and then the dean's address and then the commencement address, and we're at the end of that. Just sit there and look pretty. Well, that comes afterwards. That's during the hooding. And after we do What a Wonderful World, they can just move things back.
I don't like slip-ons. That's secure.
You ready? Wait.
John or the other guy?
Okay, ready? 2, 1.
Please be seated. Good morning. Welcome to the 2017 graduation for the dental students and for the Masters of Dental Hygiene students. We are all very excited to be here for your graduation. Our Grand Marshal, Dr. Richard Mogensen, was selected by the graduating class to carry the UCSF School of Dentistry banner and lead the processional and the recessional at the end of this event. So I would like to acknowledge this honor for Dr. Mogensen and also for the faculty and staff seated on the stage. Please give everybody a warm round of applause. We are meeting in this lovely venue, the Herbst Theatre, which has served as home to some of the most dynamic performing arts presenters. This is a San Francisco landmark cultural institution where 200 shows are performed on this stage every year. In the Herbst Theatre, where I'm standing, beautiful Frank Brangwyn murals decorate the walls. We have a second room, the Atrium Theatre, where additional guests, staff, and faculty are situated, hosted by Dr. George Taylor, who is ably assisted by Drs. Mike McMaster and Dr. Valerie Godfrey. This event is being live streamed into that theatre, and they can hear and see the events on this stage here in the Herbst Theatre. We are also live streaming to the UCSF YouTube channel for those who could not be here in San Francisco. I'm going to ask the cameras to pan back so you can capture all of the faculty and staff sitting on our stage here, and I'd like the staff and faculty on stage to stand up and give a wave to all of those additional guests. Thank you. And now I'm going to check in with Dr. George Taylor, who is in the atrium. Dr. Taylor, can you hear me? How are things there? So they have 350 people there, gleaming with joy. And an open bar? Oh, you finished all the drinks, okay. Thank you. Just a few moments for housekeeping. Please turn off your cell phones and pagers. Flash photography will not be allowed in this venue because of the consternation it causes our faculty and staff. I am also going to ask that there be no whooping and hollering. Wait, I hear a cell phone from the stage. Dr. Horgood, is that your cell phone? Dr. Featherstone, is that your cell phone? Dr. Eaton, bring it here. Bring me your cell phone. You can ask me for it after the ceremony. Now, where was I? I totally lost my train of thought.
You know, you were about to tell all the graduates that they could take all the pictures they wanted until their batteries died, and that whooping and hollering and shouting and cheering is encouraged.
Really? Is that really what everyone wants? All right, let's hear it then from the Herbst. And now, let's hear it from Dr. Taylor's room on the count of 5. And everyone quiet in this room, and we'll see if we can hear them. Dr. Taylor's room. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Taylor. And Dr. Eaton for that excellent suggestion. You can have your cell phone back. I am now honored to introduce Dean John Featherstone to the podium. This is a very special occasion for the Dean, who is retiring this year in December. So this is his very last graduation ceremony as Dean. Please give him a very warm welcome, Dr. Featherstone.
Well, thank you, Dr. Breer. I would like to welcome the classes of 2017. Would the classes please stand? Would you please turn around and face the audience? Classes of 2017, the people that you are looking at and the people in the other room are those who have supported you in the years that you have been here, who have supported you through all sorts of trials, tribulations, studies, crying, screaming, yelling, laughing, whatever. So, classes of 2017, please give a huge round of applause to your supporters, families, friends, etc. Would you please be seated? I would like to especially acknowledge the class presidents of the D4 and the ID4 classes. The D4 president, Yolanda Ho, thank you so much for everything that you did. And the ID4 class president, Magunth Nandagopal. And I'd like to also acknowledge the president of the Masters in Dental Hygiene. I believe that might be Ivy. So as Dr. Breer said, this is my final graduation as dean. I expect to be here next year if I get an invitation to see the next class graduate, but not as the dean. So this is the 10th class. So this is a very special group, the 10th class that I've graduated as dean. It's been an exceptional class, or I should say classes, all. Exceptional in numerous respects, but in particular in public service, service to the community. This class has pulled together and done some amazing things. And as we prepare the letters for people to apply to graduate programs around the country, I'm amazed at what our students have done during the time they've been here. I have no idea how they get that all into their busy lives. So congratulations to the classes for that exceptional activity. And the externship program, which the domestic class participates in, the domestic DDS class participates in, provided approximately $2 million of care to the underserved this year. So congratulations for that. The DDS classes, a little over 60% are going on to postgraduate programs either here or somewhere around the country. This is an extremely high percent going on to postgraduate programs. We've had that in the past. We've maintained that now for several years. Also, this is the second year that we've had the night clinics in operation. On Tuesday and Thursday night, our students perform dentistry for those who can't come during the day, don't want to come during the day, and those Tuesday and Thursday clinics have been fully operational all year. It has been absolutely amazing. And also, the Wednesday night community dental clinic has been so well supported by the students. For those of you who don't know, this is a clinic that provides free care by volunteers, volunteer faculty, and students to the homeless predominantly. So on a more serious note, we live in very, very strange political times. And it's not my place to comment any more than that. except that for our graduates, you will have an unknown to deal with, the fallout of our political climate. What will be the effect on healthcare delivery? What will be the new Healthcare Act? When will it be? What will it cover? Who will it not cover? Will it cover dentistry? Will it not? What part of dentistry? None of us know what's going to happen with that. What effect will it have on healthcare across the country? What effect will it have on hospitals? What effect will it have on community health centers? We don't know. That's the world you're going into. What effect will the political climate have on research funding? School of Dentistry, #1 for the 24th year in National Institutes of Health funding, joining together with #1 in National Institutes of Health funding for the schools of medicine, nursing, and pharmacy at UCSF. That's amazing. For, I think, the 4th year, Dr. Horgood, right? That is amazing. You can't do better than 4 #1s. What will happen? We don't know what will happen in this political climate. We don't know what's going to happen in terms of your ability to earn a good living and provide the care that you wish to provide. I can't tell you how soon or how late you're going to be able to pay back your student loans. You will find that out, I'm sure, but I can't predict that, that's for sure, and much more. A world of uncertainty, perhaps more than we've had in a long time. So now I want to come to my message for you. As many of you know, I grew up in the outdoors. I grew up in a small community down under in a country called New Zealand. I learned to make a fire in the rain. I learned how to ford a flooded river without drowning. I learned how to build a shelter in the outdoors and survive for several days. I learned how to survive by digging an igloo in the snow and survive for several days in a storm. I learned how to live off the land. I learned how to survive in the streets. And I can tell you that these skills have been very useful in the last 10 years in the time that I've been the dean. Just kidding, really. But I was well prepared. I used to climb mountains. And when you climb mountains, you look up and you design the route that you're going to climb. And then partway up, you find an obstacle that you didn't know. And you have to find a way of getting around it. You have to be prepared. You have to have the skills. You have to have the knowledge to get to the summit. A couple of weeks ago, I was in Washington, D.C. at the annual meeting of the American Association of Pediatric Dentistry. And one of our previous graduates came up to me and he said, "Dr. Featherstone, I'd like to thank you." I said, "Oh, goodness, that's nice. What are you thanking me for?" And he said, "I would like to thank you for how well prepared I was and am." He's in a pediatric dentistry program in another part of the country, and his skills, his knowledge, his critical thinking puts him way ahead of the rest of the class. I can't tell you how many times I hear that. I can't tell you how many times I hear that from program directors around the country. You are well prepared. You really don't have a benchmark to compare with. You may be graduating and thinking, "Oh, I can't do this, I can't do that." Believe it or not, you are very well prepared. We've got new technology and new additions to our school. We continually try to upgrade and do the best we can. We're always seeking to improve. You've all benefited from that, and the classes that follow will benefit. Just this morning, in Washington, D.C., or in fact in Virginia, you may or may not know, there was a shooter who shot 5 people attempting to assassinate and shoot a bunch of Congress people. The police were well prepared. Within a very short period of time, they had shot down the shooter. The shooter is now dead, finished. 5 people went to hospital. It could have been much more. Those police were so well prepared, so well drilled, just like you. It's an exciting world out there, folks. In my lifetime, I saw the first commercial jet plane. I didn't see, but I was there when the Sputnik went up. I was there when the first rocket went to the moon. I was there when the first person stepped on the moon. I was there when the computer was invented. Down the road from where I did my undergraduate, there was a huge building. And on one floor of that building, the entire floor was a computer with valves and things. It had less capacity by a factor of probably 10,000 than the memory does in my laptop today. I saw the fax machine. I saw the internet invented. I saw the cell phone invented, optical coherence tomography, lasers in dentistry, CAD/CAM, digital radiography, the iPhone, the Fitbit, the human genome, personalized medicine, personalized dentistry. What's next? You don't know. You don't know more than I do. But when you think, in the relatively short span of my lifetime, what has occurred, it's mind-boggling as to what's going to occur for you. And your education has prepared you to be a critical thinker, to handle new technology, and more importantly, human life in the community. You're going to be community leaders. It's taught you the clinical skills, the technical skills, but you're going to need much more than that. Never forget the school. Never forget where you got the basis of your education, and take that into your professional life for the future. You are well prepared, and I wish you a fabulous life built upon your time here at UCSF. Thank you. It's now my pleasure to introduce our commencement speaker for this year. Every commencement has a commencement speaker. I've been to many commencements. And every one that I've been to, the commencement speaker has been somewhere from the rest of the country or the rest of the world, somebody who doesn't know the class, doesn't know the institution, but has a message. And approximately a year ago, when I talked to the class leadership about this, they said, no, we don't want that. We want a very special person. We want one of our faculty. And they told me who that would be. And I said, that's wonderful. Let's do it. So our commencement speaker today is Dr. Jeffrey Eaton. He's an alumnus of UCSF from 1983, and he's been on the volunteer faculty for almost 25 years. And in that time, he has worked with what we used to call the homeless clinic, now the community dental clinic. He's now on our part-time faculty, and he continues to run the homeless clinic, where people can come and get their care for free. He's done an amazing amount for underprivileged people in this community. He's also done a huge amount in terms of passing on his values to our students. I might also state that Dr. Eaton was a music major and a music performer and a professional musician before he came to dental school. So without further ado, I'd like you to give a warm welcome to Dr. Jeffrey Eaton.
Graduation day. It's finally here, your graduation day. Can you believe that? Wow. Time of endings and a time of beginnings, a time of celebration, but a time maybe for some contemplation. A time for praise, absolutely, but I'm going to ask you today to make a promise. Because today celebrates not just your 4 years of work here. No, ladies and gentlemen. It celebrates all of their efforts for their whole life. All come to fruition on this day of celebration that we call commencement. A truly magnificent day. So welcome, friends and family. Welcome, distinguished guests. Welcome, illustrious faculty. But mostly welcome to you, graduates. This true high watermark moment in your lives. What do I mean by that? We'll talk about that in a minute. See, today, you're receiving your doctorate degree, a day that only happens once in your life. That's a high watermark moment. Never going to see that again. Talking about beginnings and endings, there's an ending here. We already mentioned it's the end of a decade of service of our illustrious dean, our beloved dean. And you'll hear many accolades for him for the rest of this year. None more significant, none more fitting than the fact that he's been a champion for our school's homeless program for a decade. He's been a true friend. He's been its staunchest supporter. That program would not have thrived and done as well as it would have if it hadn't been for his support. And I have to tell you, on behalf of the homeless population of San Francisco, they owe you a tremendous gratitude and are extremely grateful for your help and your support making the school available and for helping these students do what you guys have a passion to do, which is help people. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't mention it's also the end of an era of an icon here at our school. For one of our faculty is retiring today. She came to us by way of Harvard, where she shaped so many careers, both as dentists and as future faculty members themselves. And after a decade of service here at our school, where she was a director of so many programs, including the portfolio program, she steps down to retire and travel and enjoy life a little bit, and she leaves a reputation of being firm yet fair in all her dealings with everyone she meets, and she's raised the bar for all of us to be better. I'd like to ask you to show your appreciation and thanks for Dr. Peggy Leong. I thought I turned that off. I'm sorry. Yeah, bro. Hey, I'm a little busy. It's an emergency? What? You need one more signature. Come on, they're going to let you graduate if you're one short, right? Come on, surely they're going to let you graduate if you're just one. Who won't let you graduate if you're Dr. Leong? What? Firm affair. We were just saying that. Well, get up here. Where are you? Are you here? Ferdy. Where's Fernando? There you are. Quick. You know, fortunately, I always bring my one more, right? He did the work though. But you know, ever since I got this Axiom mobile app, there you hold that. I'm always ready. So let's see. Turn it that way. You guys don't have this. Okay, so we got that. Yeah, in your note. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the meaningful use, yes, okay. Yeah. Okay, did you get their blood pressure and the vitals? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Favorite color was blue? Yes, okay. Breakfast? Eggs, good, that's a good choice. Okay, it's back that way. It's just outside. It should have gone before you, what? No, you don't have to take it all the way off. It's really cool. You just sort of lift it up. Fernando Vargas. The only problem is sometimes with that mobile app, there's a little delay. It goes up to the cloud. Nobody knows what the cloud really is anyway, right? So if it gets down in time, then he'll get to graduate. But fortunately, he's at the end of the alphabet. I do hope you'll let it. No, firm but fair. Listen, commencement speech. Your commencement speech. We're kind of in this together now, right? Let's work as a team. Listen, I kind of think the best commencement speech that I can make for you is, frankly, no speech at all. I just want to speak to you from my heart. And I want to share with you some of life's little truths as I've learned them to be. I hope that's a benefit to you. And if it's not, I hope you have a good nap. But rest assured, it's over in about 12 minutes because I timed it this morning. So listen, I'm going to tell you my story. But first I got to warn you, I'm a crier. And I'm not ashamed to admit it, but I cry at just about anything that's happy or sad that happens around here. And if I tell my story just right, I just might make criers out of some of you too. So let's get started. My story starts just a few years out of dental school when the cancer that I had came back. And all the doctors had me going to tests, and specialists I would see, well, it was getting pretty serious. The kind of cancer I have is pretty rare and is only successfully treated about 50% of the time with radiation. If it comes back and spreads, it is fatal within 6 months, 100% of the time. I don't tell you that so you pity me. I just tell you so that you understand that when the doctor said, come to my office, I got to talk to you, he had my attention. So I sat in his office and I said, what can I do? I was sort of hoping he'd say, eat more leafy green vegetables, maybe take up jogging. But his answer, well, it buckled my knees and I had to sit down. He said, you need to go home and you need to get your affairs in order. So I did. Went home and I wrote a series of letters to my young son. And they all started something like this. If you're reading this letter, it's your 16th birthday and I'm sorry I couldn't be there. If you're reading this letter, it's your wedding day and I'm so sorry I couldn't see that. If you're reading this letter, you're having your first child and I really wish I could have been there to see that. Well then, I started doing what any red-blooded person would do. I started doing some world-class champion, Olympic level begging. Please let me live. Make it go away, make it stop. Make it go away, make it stop. But I couldn't make it go away and it wasn't going to stop. It was real. And I started saying, if you let me live, I'll be a better father, a better husband. I will be kinder, gentler, nicer, kinder, more generous, more patient, more loving. And suddenly I was hit with the irony that I had to have cancer before I was willing just to be a good person. Those are just qualities that a decent person has. Why wouldn't I do? So I had my epiphany, my moment of epiphany where I said, I may have cancer, but cancer doesn't have me. I can choose to live the way I want to live and be the best version of myself I can be for as many days as I got till I can't do it anymore. Now, do I get that right every day? No, I'm a terrible failure at it most times. But every morning that I wake up, I get to try and do it again. That's a great day. That's a really good day. Well, my story has a pretty happy ending so far for me. Don't know about you. My cancer went back into remission, so I didn't die. I did get to see my son turn 16, get married, have a child. And today I get to watch you all graduate. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to cry a little bit when I'm watching you graduate, not just because I'm so proud of you and I know you so well, but also because there was a time not long ago I wasn't sure I was going to be here to be able to see this day. Kind of like you, Fernando. Where are you? Not quite sure. Wait, I got an idea. Dr. Said, where are you? Where's Dr. Said? Where's Said, Doctor? Oh, okay. You could sign this off. She's a course direct. She could he's one short if it doesn't go through in time. What? You went to Harvard, didn't you? Who was your professor? Who was your professor when you were at Harvard? That was Dr. Leong. What? Firm affair. I know we were. Ferdy, I'm working for you. I'm trying for you, Ferdy. Listen, what has this got to do with you? That was my high watermark moment in my life. A time when I got to say, who am I and who am I going to be going forward? There's a few high watermark moments in your lives coming up the road for you. They might be the day you get married, the day you have your first child. It will definitely be, from experience I will tell you, the day that your inevitable day that our parents passed away. You will ask yourself the question everyone else asks. Did I do good in their eyes? Was I a good son? Was I a good daughter? Did I make them proud of me? And I call those universal core values because wherever I've been in the world, from Burlingame to Burma to Paris back to Petaluma, every human being I've ever met on this planet says those things are the most important things to them. The love and admiration of their children, their families, and their parents. I truly think that's in our DNA and guides us to do what is right if we'll just listen to that. And the neat thing about that is it stitches seamlessly into whatever religion or spiritual beliefs you might be carrying with you. Guides us to be the best we can be. Today is your high watermark day. Yeah, yours. A high watermark moment where you get to say, who am I and who am I going to be going forward? Putting it more bluntly, you know what DDS stands for. What do you stand for? What are you going to stand for as a person? What are you going to stand for as a dentist? A casual look at this class and you can see that it is assembled from all around the world. from all ethnicities, from all religious groups, from all social standings. And yet you guys have learned how to work together well for 4 years. You've learned how to work as a team for a common goal. You've learned that your differences make you more interesting and stronger and better, not weaker. That there's nothing to fear from people who may not have been born here who are different than you. That's what makes our country strong too, by the way. You know, you've also learned from either working in the homeless program or working in community clinics, or maybe you're one of those fortunate people that you already knew this. You know how good it feels when you help another human being who's got nowhere else to go, can help themselves. And you do something with your skill out of the kindness of your heart for no other reward than that you knew it was the right thing to do. What a great feeling that is. At that moment, you transcend dentistry. Oh, that's rather nebulous. What does that mean, transcend dentistry? When you help somebody who can't help themselves, who's got nowhere else to go, and in that moment, you give them a shred of dignity back and a little ray of hope, you're no longer just filling holes in their teeth, you're filling holes in their lives. And that is the highest level of healing that any one of us can do. That's transcending dentistry. You guys have that power. You're going to have that power as doctors. Here's another thought. Now as this class leaves, and you all scatter back to all four corners of the world again, you get to take these experiences with you. Share them with people in your communities who may not have been as fortunate enough to see what it's like working in diverse groups, who don't know what it's like being around people who are maybe not born in this country or who are different or speak differently than you. That there's nothing to fear from that. In fact, it makes us all stronger, makes our country stronger. You can also share with them, through your example, the joy of helping people who are less fortunate, have nowhere to go. How healing and great that feels to us. And how, by your example, you can maybe inspire them to do the same. What a great amount of opportunity and power this doctorate degree has. Think of that, you know? In the next few minutes, you're going to come up on stage and your name changes forever. From this day forward, you're no longer the same name. Your name starts now and forever with the title of doctor in front of it. Not just in your professional life, but in your personal life, in your community life, even after you retire, even after your demise, for as long as anybody on this planet remembers you from now and forever, they will remember you by the title of doctor. What a tremendous honor. What a tremendous responsibility. What a tremendous opportunity for you to make some changes in your community. You'll get to your community and people say, hey, that person's a doctor. They're a person of higher thoughts, deeds, and schooling. Perhaps some of the things they have to say are worth listening to. A great opportunity. Think of this. Your name's Dr. Irene Chang, Dr. Caitlin McGew, Dr. Prashant Charagunda, Dr. Hector Carmona, Dr. Daniel Jal, Dr. Reina Kawazoe, Dr. Jinwoo Park, and even possibly Dr. Fernando Vargas. I got another idea. Dr. Hastings, where are you? Dr. Hastings, there's Dr. Hastings. You could do this. She could cite. If it doesn't go through Harvard, that's right. Who interviewed you to get into Harvard years ago? That was Dr. Leong. Who was your big sib when you were at Harvard? That was Dr. Said. Yeah, and who was your faculty mentor while you were at Harvard? That was Dr. Leong. What? Firm but fair. Yes. Yes, we're saying that. Dr. Hahn, where are you? Dr. Hahn. Where'd you go to school? Harvard. Dr. Leong? Yeah. Firm but what? Firm but fair. Ferdy. It's looking bleak. Tell you what, if it doesn't come back down through the cloud in time, I'll save a seat for you at summer school. Listen, we'll be here. Listen, if by any chance they call his name, I think he's worked hard enough. What do you say, you guys all give him a way to go, Fernando, shall we? Let's bring it home good. I'm feeling hopeful for you, my friend. Recently at the Profiles in Courage Awards, Barack Obama said, it doesn't take a lick of courage to stand up for people who are powerful and rich, but it does take tremendous courage to stand up for the poor and the weak the elderly and the young, the veterans, the disenfranchised, the forgotten, the marginalized, the trivialized, and the discriminated against. John F. Kennedy said, even more eloquently, each of us can make a difference, and all of us ought to try. You know what DDS stands for. What are you going to stand for? Now, I have a little secret. Would somebody wake up Fernando? Fernando, this is worth waking up for. Listen, this is really good. I thought this last night. Just thought this. It just dawned on me. You know, all those qualities I've been talking about of compassion, caring, kindness, generosity, and desire to heal, I have a surprise for you. You didn't learn any of that here. You already had that. It was in you, and in fact, was identified by the people who interviewed you to come here. They saw that in you, and it was one of the many reasons that they voted to choose you and offered you a position here and asked you to come here, because they saw some greatness in you. So where did it come from? It was yours at birth. It came from your parents and their parents and their parents' parents. And it was their gift to you that brings you to this chair today, to this path that you have chosen, because it helps you express all those qualities that you are dying to get out. When you release those qualities by adding all the skills that you've learned here through your hard work, all those great qualities of caring and compassion, add it to your skill, and you return it back to the world through caring acts of kindness, you're helping the patient, yes. But what you're really doing is showing honor and love back to your parents, their parents' parents, and their parents' parents, to your ancestors. And there is no higher form of expressing gratitude or respect than to show your parents that way. Now, I have a couple little truths I just want to share with you. I've been a parent and a grandparent for a while now. If you want your kids to grow up not running down the street screaming and cursing, don't scream and curse in your house. If you want your kids to grow up having a loving and respectful relationship with another human being, you have a loving and respectful relationship with your significant other. And if you want your kids to grow up with good values of compassion, caring, and a sense of community service, you can talk to them till you're blue in the face, but unless you let them see you doing it, it goes nowhere. And once they see that, and you build another generation of compassionate, caring human beings, well, then, once again, you transcend dentistry. You're not just fixing holes in teeth, you're fixing holes in people's lives, and you're building the next generation of compassionate, caring citizens. This is a most unique time, as Dr. Featherstone earlier said, in our history. We're facing a virtual moral eclipse of honesty, integrity, decency, and compassion at the top of our government. And yet, this poses a unique opportunity for us, the American public, the American people, to find out just how good we can be as people when we stand up and do what is right, and speak what is right, and defend what we know is right, despite what people tell us. You have the power to do that. You have the obligation to do that. You can do that. By the way, those aren't my words. Those are the words of Dr. Cornel West, Professor Emeritus from Harvard, Yale, Princeton, and the University of Paris. If you disagree with his politics and mine, I respect that. Then you go find a cause of your own to champion. But stand for something. Because as we all know, people who don't stand for something, they stand for nothing. And that's not who you are. That's not who you want to be. Gandhi once said, the true measure of any society is how it cares for its most vulnerable members. Don't let that happen in our community. Be the person in your community who makes a difference. Actor Kevin Spacey said it even simpler. He said, if you make it to the top, don't forget to send the elevator back down. I like that one. Here's what you want. You know, let's wrap this thing up, stick a bow on it, and bring it on home, okay? You want to be like my favorite boxing actor of all time, Rocky Balboa. You want to say, you stood in the ring of life, fist up in the air, you looked life right in the eyes, and you said, you know what? I was somebody. I tried, and I did something. I was somebody. So here's my promise to you. The promise I wanted to ask you, not to me, make it to yourself. Give yourself this gift. You've worked hard for it. You have these inherent gifts. You've built these skills. Let them out. Here's the reward. Here's my promise to you. If you let that out, if you do those things, then when you get to the end of your journey, at the end of your days, be they few or many, and you ask yourself those questions that I've asked today, did I make my children, my family, my parents, my community, my school proud of me? On your final days, you'll know those answers. And those answers will bring you great peace. Great peace. And that will not only have been a successful career, that will have been a life well spent. A life well spent. It's been a true honor getting to speak before you today. I want to thank you for giving me another high watermark moment in my life and for me getting to have another day here. So I'd like to close with a blessing and a little gift to you. The blessing comes from somebody I deeply admire, Professor Imam Khalid Latif of New York University. His blessing is simple. It says, may you be protected from hearts that are not humble, from tongues that are not wise, and eyes that have forgotten how to cry. And finally, I have this little gift. Al? In 130 years of graduations, I looked this up. No one's ever done this, and I don't know why. Every day I wake up full of wonder. One more chance at a promising day. And I always say, it's a wonderful life. Guys, the San Francisco Brass Ensemble. Dr. Mona Najad.
I see them bloom for me and for you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
What a wonderful world. And I see skies of blue, clouds of white, bright blessed day in the dark sacred night. I think to myself, oh, such a wonderful world.
The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky.
Oh, they're also on the faces of people going by.
I see friends shaking hands,
Oh, saying, how do you do?
they're really saying, I love you.
I hear babies cry. I watch them grow.
They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself,
And I think to myself,
what a wonderful world.
for the first time in 130 years, the brass band actually gets to play Craig McCamus and the San Francisco Brass Ensemble. That's blues. He's doing a little blues stuff. You hear that? It's kind of cool. It's improvising. He practiced. By the way, these are all members of the San Francisco Symphony performing for you today. Don't they play beautifully? Bridge.
Colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky.
Just
Also on faces, people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, "How do you do?" They're really saying,
we say,
"I love you." I hear
even on
babies
the
cry.
days that
I
pull
watch
you
them grow.
under.
They'll learn much
Hope returns
more.
just like stars in the night,
And I think to
shining
myself,
all their light
what a wonderful world.
on a wonderful world,
Yeah, I think to
shining
myself,
all of their light.
what a wonderful world. Oh, yeah.
Thank you. We now have the student addresses. I'd like to introduce and ask to come to the stage the Masters of Science in Dental Hygiene student, Stephanie Faye Chin.
Professors, I'd like to start off by having you cover your ears for a moment, please. Thank you. Or actually, just the MSDH professors. Thank you. Okay, everybody, I'm going to let you all in a little secret. This is actually my final exam, so if you guys don't applause or cheer for me, I might not graduate. So every time I make this movement, applause, okay? That way I can graduate. So I appreciate your help. Okay, you can now cover your ears. Thank you. Alrighty, so let's begin. Good morning, esteemed faculty, fellow graduates, and beloved family and friends. My name is Stephanie Chin, and I was so graciously chosen by my extremely talented, intelligent, and amazing cohort to represent the class of 2017 of the Master of Science in Dental Hygiene program. For family and friends who are unfamiliar with the program, let me please tell you what your loved ones have been working on all those times that spouses or partners have been neglected, all those times they had to miss all those parties and dinners, or all those times you've seen them staying up past 2 a.m., working in the dark with their glowing laptops as the only light in the room. Well, it's because this program is designed to develop educators, dental hygiene scholars, and research collaborators. The coursework culminates in a capstone project where each candidate researches and writes a scholarly manuscript for publication in a scholarly journal. This year, we had a variety of topics, ranging from experimental research on mechanical scalers, descriptive research on dental implant practices, and even descriptive research on problem-based learning. Now, to give everyone a preview of the kind of work a Master of Science in Dental Hygiene candidate performs, we decided to conduct an informal research study of this class of 2017. So dental graduates and dental hygiene graduates, we're going to learn some new things about each other as a collective group. All right, let's jump into the results. So our target population for this study was this group of dental and dental hygiene graduates at the UCSF School of Dentistry. We had an overall response rate of 31%. Yeah, thank you for those who participated. And here are some results of the survey. Participants were asked, if you weren't in the UCSF School of Dentistry, what would you have been doing? And the majority of the group is quite adventurous. 29% of the graduates said they would be climbing Mount Everest and not on the Sherpa's back. 19% is into entertaining, and they said that if they weren't in the School of Dentistry, they would be helping Taylor Swift plan her annual 4th of July bash. Think of that. Another 19% is very tech-savvy, and they said they would be building the next rival company to Apple. And 10% of the graduates are into performance and said they would be auditioning for the next Star Wars prequel. Finally, another 10% said if they weren't in the School of Dentistry, they would be running for office or president because, well, why not? I didn't watch The Apprentice for nothing. Participants were also asked, who is their favorite Bay Area sports team? And no surprise, this team won 2 out of the last 3 years. They won a championship, the Golden State Warriors. Yeah. 14% chose the San Francisco Giants, and 10% said, nope, I'm not into Bay Area sports. I'm too busy studying for tonight's commencement party. So class of 2017, thank you so much to those who participated in the survey and for being such good sports. Now, as you can tell, research can reveal some interesting results and increased knowledge base about a group of people. And the care provided by dental hygienists must be based on knowledge and research findings that support the delivery of the highest quality of dental hygiene care possible. In 1913, Dr. Alfred C. Phones opened the first school of dental hygiene, developing the concept of prevention specialists called dental hygienists. In the mid-1970s, the American Dental Hygienists Association appointed its first committee on research. They highlighted the importance of research to a profession and emphasized the role of the dental hygiene researcher to support dental hygiene practice and education. Then, in 1990, an advanced framework was brought forth, proposing the interdependent relationships between dental hygiene research and practice. This framework helped shape the identity of the profession today, the dental hygiene scholar. And the person most attributed to the identity of the dental hygiene scholar is Dr. Margaret Walsh. Dr. Walsh was a storied researcher in tobacco cessation with numerous publications and was a professor emerita in the Department of Preventive and Restorative Dental Sciences here at the UCSF School of Dentistry, teaching dental students and dental hygiene students for over 30 years. From 1986 to 1992, she chaired the Division of Dental Hygiene at UCSF. In 2008, she assumed responsibility for developing a proposal for a new Master of Science degree program in dental hygiene that was approved in 2010 and has continued strong through today. Although she is peacefully watching over us from her resting place today, her passion, her determination, her legacy about research and the dental hygiene scholar lives on. In a short while, my cohort and I will walk across the stage where we will be conferred the Master of Science in Dental Hygiene degree and proudly continue her legacy in research. This is because of Dr. Walsh's inspiration. So going back to our study of the class of 2017 participants were asked, who has been the most inspirational person or people in their lives? 62% said their parents were most inspirational. 29% said their friends or colleagues or professors were the most inspirational. Thank you. I don't even need to prompt you anymore. That's amazing. Thank you. So 24% said their spouse or partner was also the most inspirational. And finally, thank you, 19% said their siblings inspire them most. Finally, when asked if you could tell your inspiration how their impact has changed your life, what would you say? Here are some of the comments. Your dedication, passion, and life balance has been the perfect example of who I hope to become in my profession. Through learning from you, I was able to broaden my perspectives and ready to give back to the community. Your unconditional love and support has provided the foundation for me to succeed in all aspects of my life. And the last comment was, they believed in me when I no longer believed in myself. So in closing, inspiration is powerful. Thank you to the family, friends, faculty, and colleagues who have inspired us all to be here today. And one more thing, finally, my father is very big on inspirational quotes, so I decided to create one of my own. This is for you, Dad. A mouth filled with sweet food can give you many cavities, but a life filled with sweet people will give you many, many smiles. Thank you so much, and congratulations, class of 2017.
Thank you, Stephanie. I'm now going to introduce domestic student, D4 student, Mona Najad, to give the D4 student address. Please come to the stage.
First off, I'd like to thank Dean Featherstone. We're the last class that he'll be seeing graduate as dean. So on behalf of my class, I'd like to present you with this signed yearbook as a token of our appreciation. All right, class of 2017, we made it. We made it through over 20 years of school. We made it through APs, SATs, ACTs, DATs, NBDEs, COEs, POEs, PRRs, and CRAs. We made it through Dr. Kwok Evo's anatomy questions, through Crown and Bridge lectures that made us feel like we were living our own personal versions of the movie Groundhog's Day, through 13-hour clinic days, through countless lunch and learns, but more importantly, lots of free lunches, through heaps of plastic teeth, extracted teeth, and real people. We made it through all of it. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mona, and I've had the pleasure of working alongside the incredible people in the class of 2017 for the last 4 years. Actually, I'm sorry, let me check. Should be saying the last 1,367 days, 4 hours, 7 minutes, and 24 seconds. But hey, who's counting? Except Brittany, maybe? She's always counting down. For those of you who don't know the class of 2017, we're a group of 88 new dentists of all shapes and sizes. Among us, there are triathletes, PhD, tattoo artists, gymnasts, bodybuilders, and even a professional gambler. I'm not making this stuff up. Now that you know who we are, I just want to take a moment to thank all of you for enabling us to be here today. Because whether you know it or not, if you're sitting in this room, you've been an important part of our journey. So thank you to all our families and our friends for raising and supporting such wonderful human beings. And thank you to the faculty and administration for selecting such an incredible group of classmates for me. When I first found out that I was chosen to give the graduation speech, I was so happy and honored. 9 drafts later, and 3 days until graduation, I realized, uh-oh, this is going to be hard. There is so much that we have learned, so many experiences that we have shared, and far too many stories to tell. How could I summarize all that? I even thought about pulling a Melania and reading Michelle Obama's speech, but that'd be unoriginal. So I decided that instead of attempting to summarize all that we've learned over the last 4 years, I'll just tell you about what we haven't learned. We haven't learned how to drive in San Francisco without getting a parking ticket. We haven't learned how to listen to a lecture without simultaneously online shopping and snapping a photo of our sleeping classmate. We haven't learned how to put back together the dust of the wax-up crown that we smashed in the last 60 seconds of a test case and still pass. We haven't learned how to pronounce axiom. Is it axiom or axiom? No one will ever know. And believe it or not, we haven't learned how to be perfect. Don't get me wrong, we're a pretty outstanding bunch. Of all the high school students, we're part of the few that graduated and got into university. And of all the university students, we're part of the small percentage that got into the UCSF School of Dentistry. This collective greatness exists because each of us fights daily to be the best, or rather our best self, and we help each other along the way. The reality is that about 5% of the time, we're just absolutely perfect. Like that one time Dr. Sheck looked at your prep and actually smiled. Another 5% of the time, we're a complete disaster. Like that one time when you waited 2 hours for a perio consult, Dr. Godfrey sat down and told you to redo all your GMCEJ readings. These outlier moments may be the memories we highlight when reflecting on our time here at UCSF, but 90% of the time, we exist somewhere in between these two extremes. The culmination of these in-between, day-to-day moments may not be the ones we consciously remember months or years down the road, but I believe they're equally important. In fact, these moments are the building blocks of long-lasting friendships, of consolidators of all that we've learned, and the fuel that has brought us to this very moment that we find ourselves in now. As we walk out of this auditorium carrying our DDS degrees, I would like to set 5 collective goals for our class. I hope these goals will serve as a reminder of the strong foundation that we have laid and of the skyscrapers of success that we will build upon it. 1, stop and reflect daily. Felicia's, this doesn't mean check yourself out in the mirror before seeing your patient. This means at the end of each day, think back on everything you did that day. Think about what went well and feel happy. And think about what can go better tomorrow and feel excited. 2, have at least 1 non-dental conversation a day. As much fun as it's been to take bets on how many $100 bills Dr. Sedio would be carrying next to his Axiom card, or compare how long Dr. Ng took to check your prophy, or how Julio pronounced your name today over the intercom, save time to talk about and engage in all the other amazing things you love to do. If not for yourself, then for the sake of your patients that have to listen to your monologue while your hands are in their mouths. 3, leave the people you touch a little better than you found them. We are so blessed to have such a specific skill set that allows us to provide valuable service to others. We must remind ourselves to treat each person that we see with kindness but also to remember that we deserve that same kindness in return. 4, stay in touch with each other and with our faculty. We are all now not only friends, but also colleagues, and we can support each other in so many ways. Let's continue to make and share memories together, because when it's time for our 10-year reunion, who knows? Ricardo's hair might be bright pink. Irene might be more buff than Fernando. And Gordon might become a rock star again. Last but not least, strive to stretch that 5% of perfection each day, but also don't be afraid of that bottom 5% either, because either way, it's an experience that won't be forgotten and will shape your future. I hope we can all look back and remember this moment as one of the perfect ones. Thank you.
Thank you, Mona. I'd now like to ask the International Dental Program student, Ana Alejandra Navarro Palacios, to come to the stage and give the IDP4 student address. Thank you.
Well, Mona, it's gonna be hard. All right. Alejandra, are you still in school? Why? I get the same question every single time that I talk to people about my professional life. And let's face it, being in school when you're 32 years old, well, it's kind of odd. You need to understand, my classmates and I from the international program have now gone through dental school twice. Doctors of dental surgery squared. D4s, I want you to imagine yourselves at graduation today, but planning on repeating it all over again in a couple of years. Painful? Yes, your imagination is correct. It's absolutely painful. Why would we voluntarily choose pain? Let's face it, everyone else in this hall who's not a dentist believes that dentists enjoy causing pain, not receiving it. So, let us reflect together at this moment of graduation, the sacrifices we and our loved ones have made, and the reasons why. We need to see it clearly. Importantly, we left our homelands behind. This was very hard. In the ancient world, there was no worse punishment than exile. It was even considered worse than death. We have all felt the pain of longing for home. Our parents and loved ones, our beautiful languages, our friends, the taste and smell of our traditional food. Our class said goodbye to 11 beloved countries. England, India, Mexico, woo! The Philippines, Iran, Peru, Egypt, China, Canada, Russia, and Norway. There have also been the sacrifices more specific to each of us in our situations in life. Akshaya lost her father right before starting our program. I imagine how hard it was for her to come back and keep working at the simulation lab while she was still grieving the loss of her dad. Pamela had already started our program when she, too, lost her father in Peru. After traveling to his funeral, she returned to UCSF to forge ahead. Maria moved her entire family from the South Bay and found a new school for her kids in order to be closer to UCSF. Every Sunday, Inez would say goodbye to her family in the East Bay and would return to live in the city to be close to school, therefore only seeing her 2 boys on weekends. Marine took the GREP board exam when she was 7 months pregnant and with twins. Due to a complication, she was rushed to the emergency room after finishing the endodontics portion of the exam. So her celebration dinner was pizza in the hospital with her husband and beautiful daughter. Yadbinder came back to school when his baby was only 1 week old. And what about Homam? Imagine going back to school after 11 years of running a very successful private practice in Iran. Yes, we all know how painful it was for Homam to get all those swipe signatures. In each and every one of my classmates, there's a story of sacrifice. I want to ask each of you, including the D4s, to reflect on what you have done in order to be here today. What did you give up? What did you endure? And I pose those same questions to our families, our teachers, and our friends, because you too have made great sacrifices along the way with us, and we're truly grateful to you for that. Yet, as we all reflect together, we should disabuse ourselves of any notion of specialness. In fact, we are part of an historical tradition of immigrants who came to America, California, and San Francisco before us. Our immigrant history reaches all the way back to the Native Americans who came to America over a land bridge from Asia. Thousands of years later, Spaniards and Mexicans also settled California. There were Chinese and Japanese laborers, 49ers who risked everything on the gold rush, during the gold rush, and hippies who abandoned normal life in an effort to expand consciousness in the 1960s. Most recently, immigrants have come to Silicon Valley from all over the world with the dream of changing the world through technology. So, if the struggle ever feels too hard or exhausting, simply find inspiration in the millions who came before us, who already did it and nobly succeeded. We are not alone. Okay, so we have all made great sacrifices and struggle, that is clear. And we are part of a great historical tradition. Yet, I have not answered the question, why? Why did we do it? Of course, on one level, there are a multiplicity of reasons, ranging from escaping oppressive governments to seeking a better quality of life to falling in love. But on another level, that binds us all together, it is much more simpler than that. We love what we do. We are passionate about our profession. We are passionate about dentistry. Steve Jobs spoke about this sort of passion and its connection to success. He said, "You have to have a lot of passion for what you're doing. And that's because if you don't, any rational person will give up. The passionate people persevere. It's a lot of hard work. So if you don't love it, you're going to fail." We have that passion that Steve Jobs talked about. We love our profession, and we use that passion to persevere. It has brought us, all of us, today to graduation. Well done, class of 2017. At the same time, we need to be cautious. Steve Jobs, like many successful professionals, was not always a happy man. Passion can be blinding and all-consuming. One's profession can become one's entire life. So, although useful, our passion should not cause us to forget another important parts of life. We are much more than dentists. Let's not limit ourselves. If there's a part of you that you have had to shut down or ignore, the next years is a time to start rediscovering that. I hope Mugund has time to go back to mountain climbing. Anthony plays basketball more often. Hebert starts drawing again. Lindsay goes back to her crafting. Mambir returns to dancing. And Karen finds time to learn another language, on top of the 5 that she already speaks. I hope all the parents in our class are able to spend more time with their children. And I also hope that we all discover parts of ourselves that we would have never even imagined. I ask you all to think about how you plan to grow as a whole person, as a citizen, leader, caregiver, thinker, athlete, musician, and more. I encourage you to ask yourselves, what are your other passions? What is exciting to you? What besides dentistry will enrich your life? Don't merely blaze ahead blindly, but pause, take a breath, and reflect. I can't wait to see what all of you would do with your lives after today. Congratulations, class of 2017. Thank you. I'm going to say something that is not on my script. My mom does not speak English that well, so I'll say in Spanish. Mami, muchas gracias por todo. Te amo.
Thank you, Dr. Palacios. So we now have a couple of special awards. First, I'm going to ask the Dean to come up to the podium, and he will introduce the Oath of Office officer, and he will then announce the Gardner Awards. Thank you.
Today we have a very special part of the ceremony, and I would like to introduce Lieutenant Batista, a commissioned Medical Service Corps officer, who is currently working as the Medical Programs Officer at the Navy Recruiting District in San Francisco under the Armed Forces Health Professional Scholarship Program. Lieutenant Batista.
Ladies and gentlemen, families and friends, and esteemed faculty, I'm honored to spend this afternoon to be part of the UCSF School of Dentistry community. To welcome our newest military dental corps officers and their families into the ranks of a time-honored tradition, caring for those who protect and defend our grateful nation we call United States of America. As we gather here today, we celebrate this commencement ceremony. We are mindful of the freedom we enjoy here as a nation, are protected by the men and women who serve in the armed forces. The class of 2017 have several men and women who have chosen to serve their country through the military service after graduation. Well, the graduates who will enter the armed forces as dental corps officers with the rank of a captain or lieutenant, please come on stage. So we have Lieutenant Joy Kim, Major Sumi Mai, Lieutenant Melissa Milder, Lieutenant Daniel Rapadas, Lieutenant Kayleen Rodriguez, Lieutenant Ricardo Wasmer, and Lieutenant Ricardo Jara Castro. Honor, courage, commitment, loyalty, duty, respect, selflessness, service, integrity first, before self, and excellence is all we do and is the core values of serving our grateful nation, the United States of America. These are the values that the men and women of the United States Armed Forces support and defend daily. For the faculty and families and friends and loved ones, we thank you for all those who've supported and instructed and mentored these graduates as they prepare to enter their military career as Dental Corps officers. Please join us and applaud their accomplishment and their new journey in the United States Navy, Army, and Air Force.
Thank you, Lieutenant Batista, for your participation, and I would like to thank our students who are entering the military for committing to service to our country. Again, a big round of applause. So it is my pleasure now to award the 2 Gardner Awards. What on earth is a Gardner Award? It's not an award for gardening. It is an award named after Elizabeth Gardner. To give you a little history, the Gardner Award is the School of Dentistry's highest student award. There's one given for the Masters in Dental Hygiene class and one given to the DDS class. And the awards are chosen by the faculty, and the final choice is made by a very select committee from 2 nominations that come forward. So there are only 4 people in this room who know the names of the people getting the Gardner Awards, and even the people getting them do not know. So it's a big secret still. So who was Elizabeth Gardner? She was a dental hygienist, and she graduated in 1958 from UCSF and the then baccalaureate dental hygiene program. And throughout her life, Elizabeth Gardner exemplified the qualities of caring and service, which we've heard a lot about today. In particular, she devoted her energies to serving the University of California as a whole, and was the first person recognized with the title Associate of the President during the service of her husband, David Pierpoint Gardner, the 15th president of the entire University of California system. So to honor the spirit and example set by Libby Gardner, the recipients of this award are selected on the basis of scholastic achievement, service to the university, service to the community, leadership qualities, and a demonstrated concern for others. So, who are the award recipients? Well, I know who they are. I'll tell you in just a second. The first award is to the awardee in the Masters of Dental Hygiene class. And in anticipation for this, are you all ready? We're going to have a big drum roll. Come on now, drum roll, drum roll. Fantastic. And the award recipient is, by the way, we're not using a company that does false certificates here. This is the real thing, and I haven't messed it up. I have it right in front of me, just in case the name in my head is not the name on the certificate. So who is it? I'd like her to come forward, please. Ivy Zomer. Like unwrapping a gift when you've been to Nordstrom's, huh? Okay, so Nordstrom's has got nothing to do with this, just happened to pop into my mind. So, the Gardner Award for the DDS class, drum roll, is, are we ready for this? Are the people in the other room ready for this? All right, I hear them. Do you have your cell phones ready to take a photograph of this? It is Rebecca Shea.
We now ask our president of the Dental Alumni Association, Elizabeth Couch, to come forwards and give us a short presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Breer. And welcome, graduates. I just realized going through the program that I'm really the only thing standing between you and your diploma, so bear with me for a second. Many of the people assembled today are here to bid you farewell. I have the distinct pleasure, as the president of the UCSF Dental Alumni Association, to say welcome. Welcome no longer as students, but as colleagues and peers joining the ranks of thousands of fellow alumni around the world. As many of you will be leaving San Francisco and scattering across the globe, our job as alumni leaders is to help you stay connected to this amazing community, to your mentors, and especially to your friends and classmates sitting next to you today. I am truly proud to be a graduate of this institution and appreciate the incredible community we have here at UCSF. I also remain optimistic about where UCSF is going in the future. Now, more than ever, we are seeing the opportunity to be pioneers in patient care, education, public service, and science. As one of the leading oral and craniofacial research institutions in the world, the UCSF School of Dentistry faculty, students, and residents are committed to improving health through research and discovery. Why is this important to you as new alumni and to me standing here with you? Well, you are the future, living and creating new discoveries through your own path.
Staying connected to your Dental Alumni Association will keep you informed of new advances happening at UCSF. And it will keep us informed of the new discoveries that you are doing as you live out your dental and dental hygiene careers in clinical practice, education, and research. As you embark on this new path, remember the time that you spent here. Remember that your learning experiences at UCSF did not happen by accident, but through your hard work and the hard work and intentional efforts of a whole school community, including faculty that are here today, mentors, and yes, alumni. Alumni have been quietly supporting you throughout your educational journey at UCSF. From the welcome sweatshirts and white coats, to the sharing of experiences by alumni at student group and panels, and as Mona pointed out, free lunches, to hosting community outreach events, as well as providing financial support to the school and scholarships to students. Now your role transitions. It doesn't end. With gratitude, take this transitional experience with you where you go, and remember to remain connected. As you go forward, be a leader in facilitating opportunities for building relationships. Be intentional about connecting. Maintain contacts through the app UCSF Connect and social media. Reach out to alums in your region. Host an alumni or a student event. Mentor a dental or dental hygiene graduate student. Come back for alumni weekend in the scientific session. Serve on the alumni council. Support the institutional mission of UCSF and student scholarships. And even come back and teach future dental professionals at UCSF. But for now, go out and do great things. The demands for you in your new life as a graduate will change form, but balance is more important than ever. So stay connected with those you care about most and call on your UCSF family, both near and far, when you need encouragement. Your UCSF community is here in San Francisco and around the world to support you. Congratulations, and again, welcome.
We're almost at the point what you really came for. But before that, I have two further acknowledgements. And the first is, on stage, we have approximately 80 of our wonderful faculty. This is an amazing turnout. Would the faculty please stand and be acknowledged by the students? Thank you. Please be seated. And the second acknowledgement that I have is for two of our graduates who are at the point in their lives where they've done the double DDS PhD. Now, this is no small achievement. Talk about doing two doctorates like the international students. This is a course of study, of research, and torture that takes at least 8 years. And I would like to acknowledge our two most recent people who have completed this program, and one of them is here today, and I'm going to ask him to stand in a moment. But firstly, the two to acknowledge are Kyle Burke-Jones and Jackie Nguyen. And with this multiple training and experience, they often go on to do a specialty program beyond that and beyond that. And they will become the leaders of the dental profession and the academic side of it, almost certainly, for the future. So I would like to ask Kyle Jones particularly, to stand and be acknowledged. Thank you, Kyle. I might state that he's been a student almost the entire time I've been the dean, I think. So, thank you. So now I would like to introduce Chancellor Sam Horgood, who is the Chancellor of the University of California, San Francisco. Dr. Horgood, and I hesitate to even mention this, but he was born in Australia, just across the water from New Zealand. There's a certain amount of rivalry between Australia and New Zealand. However, we both came to this country a long time ago. He came here about 35 years ago, and I came here 38 years ago. So I'm a little bit ahead of him, but he's been here in time I'm talking about. He's been at UCSF all of that time. He did some amazing things in research and clinical care. He's a pediatrician. He has held numerous positions of leadership, including chair of pediatrics and the dean of the School of Medicine. And he and I got to know each other very well for several years while I was the dean of School of Dentistry and he was the dean of School of Medicine. And in very recent years, Dr. Horgood was appointed as the Chancellor. Without further ado, please welcome Chancellor Horgood.
So thank you, John. Let me first start by offering my personal and very sincere congratulations to the class of 2017. You have much to be proud of in the journey that you've taken to this day, and you've got much to look forward to as you step forward to the next stage of your career. Second, let me thank and congratulate Dean Featherston for his decade of tremendous leadership of the School of Dentistry here at UCSF, but also for his leadership for international dentistry around the globe. He mentioned he's an outdoorsman, and I know he has many plans for when he steps down at the end of this year. But if you would join me in just offering our thanks to his decade of tremendous leadership and service. And thirdly, Dean Featherston mentioned that I have been at UCSF for 35 years, and so I also have been to many, many commencements. In fact, this is my 5th of this year alone. But I would have to say that the commencement speech this year by Dr. Eaton was truly special and remarkable, so I would like to thank him for his fantastic speech. And I would also like to point out that my pen pretty much outguns anyone else's pen here at the university. And so I'd be more than happy to sign off on those last few degrees. So our goal at UCSF has been to train you for a lifetime of caring, imagination, and discovery. We want you to make a difference in the world, and we trust that we have prepared you well for both the challenges and the opportunities that you will encounter along the way. You, in turn, leave us your legacy, a school and a campus that has been enriched by your time with us. I thank each and every one of you for your passion, your spirit, and your hard work, all of which will live on as part of the fabric of UCSF. So now I am going to invite Dean Featherston up, and we will do what we're all here for today, and that is confer some degrees.
Thank you, Chancellor Horgood. Will the candidates for the degree Master of Science in Dental Hygiene please rise? The Master of Science in Dental Hygiene degree is awarded after completion of a baccalaureate degree, graduation from a dental hygiene program, and the completion of 1 year of intensive postgraduate coursework to include 3 quarters of interdisciplinary dental hygiene science and 1 quarter of field work. So these people have worked exceptionally hard and will be our leaders of dental hygiene academia in the future. Chancellor Horgood, I present the candidates for the degree Master of Science in Dental Hygiene.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Regents of the University of California, I confer upon you the degree Master of Science in Dental Hygiene. My congratulations. Please be seated.
Yes, please be seated. Thank you. Will the candidates for the degree Doctor of Dental Surgery please rise? The degree of Doctor of Dental Surgery is awarded after completion of a minimum of 3 years of pre-professional work in the arts and sciences. That's a minimum of, and all of our students have completed at least 4 and more years, plus 4 years of intensive study in application of preclinical sciences to clinical dentistry. In the case of the international students, they have already completed a dental degree in another country and have come here for 2 full calendar years to graduate with an American degree of Doctor of Dental Surgery. Chancellor Horgood, I present the candidates for the degree Doctor of Dental Surgery.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Regents of the University of California, I confer upon you the degree Doctor of Dental Surgery. My congratulations.
Doctors, please be seated. The cap, gown, and hood are descended from the articles of dress worn by church dignitaries in the Middle Ages. Today, the cap and gown indicate that the wearer is the member of a university or college. The hood shows whatever degree the wearer has. And the blue and gold lining, which you'll see in abundance today, represents the University of California colors. And the colors of the hood, lilac, indicates the School of Dentistry. Now we move to the hooding of the Master of Science in Dental Hygiene graduates. I would like to introduce the reader of names, and I can tell you that it is a huge honor to be a reader or a hooder. These are chosen entirely by the students, and the hooder for the graduates of the Masters in Dental Hygiene program is Professor Elena Ortega. Please come forward. Sorry, that's the reader of names. And the 2 hooders are Professor Ruth Kern and Professor Liz Couch. Please come forward. Will the recipients of the degree Master of Science in Dental Hygiene please come forward?
Stephanie Faye Chin, whose capstone project was Cultural Competence in California Dental Hygiene Education, a pilot study. Stephanie Maria Garcia, whose capstone project was membership in professional associations, the California Dental Hygienists' Perceptions and Attitudes. Lisa Huang, whose capstone project was comparing the efficiency of 5 mechanical scalars on the removal of supra and subgingival calculus in vitro. Virginia Lee, whose capstone project was knowledge, attitudes, and behaviors of U.S. dental hygienists' use of silver diamine fluoride for caries management. Malvika Patel, her capstone project was comparing the effectiveness of 5 mechanical scalars on root surface roughness, a scanning electron microscopy study. Rosanna Young, who's studied problem-based learning implementation in U.S. dental hygiene programs by program directors' knowledge and perceptions. Ivy Zellmer, who studied dental implant assessment and maintenance, investigating the attitudes and practices of dental hygienists in the United States.
It's good to have a Zelma in the list because you know you've come to the end of the alphabet. So congratulations again to the recipients of the degree Masters in Dental Hygiene. I would like to introduce the reader for the DDS graduates, Dr. Sophia Said. And the 2 hooders, all of these are chosen by the class. Dr. Gorinda Atwell and Dr. Jim Giblin. Will the recipients of the degree, Doctor of Dental Surgery, please come forward.
Dr. Mona Najad. Dr. Ana Alejandra Navarro Palacios. Dr. Joy Kim. Dr. Sumay Mai. Dr. Melissa Milder. Dr. Danielle Paulino Rapadas. Dr. Kylene Rodriguez. Upside down. Dr. Ricardo Jose Wasmer IV. Dr. Ricardo Jara Castro. Dr. Shahrzad Afghani. Dr. Yumin An. Dr. Jill Alderfer. Dr. Moham Ansari. Dr. Kanika Atam. Dr. Marine Khan. Dr. Pradnya Banan. Dr. Yadvinder Singh Puller. Dr. Julie H. Bowie. Dr. Jean Marie Calvo. Dr. Hector Carmona. Dr. Sean Chadha. Dr. Hebert Chan. Dr. Prashant Charugandla. Dr. Elizabeth Chavez Matias. Dr. Ilse Pamela Kubas-Moody. Dr. Christina Chen. Dr. Irene Cheng. Dr. Heijin Jinny Cho. Dr. Joan Chung. Dr. Leon Chung. Dr. Stephanie Cruz. Dr. Sylvia Diaguiar. Dr. Jeffrey Delgadillo, accompanied by baby Gwen. Dr. Gornoor Dutt. Dr. Lauren Frisch. Dr. Madhurima Ganguly. Dr. Jenny Amariles Garcia. Dr. Aditi Garg. Dr. Lucy Tanya Halajian. Dr. Gordon Goldstein. Dr. Enajan Hanamova. Dr. Mina Hashemian. Dr. Yolanda Ho. Dr. Jung Shea. Dr. Rebecca Shea. Dr. Hengame Jannati. Dr. Danielle Zoya Jal. Dr. Eunice Yunmi Jung. Dr. Andre David Michel Kavak. Dr. Daniel Kang. Dr. Darcy Sumiko Kawamoto. Dr. Reina Kawazoi. Always negotiating. Dr. Daniel Nima Kevani. Dr. Marie Yeri Kim. Dr. Argina Kudavarian. Dr. Yuvika Raj Kumar. Dr. Tracy Lay. Dr. Brian Poe Lee. Dr. James Craig Lelis. Dr. Narita Leong. Dr. Lauren Leza. Dr. Wendon Lee. Dr. Sean Lin. Dr. Lee Lowe. Dr. Minerva Mei-Ching Loy. Dr. Matthew Lowe. Dr. Jasmine Manubai. Dr. Antranig Manugian. Dr. Kathleen Marcello. Dr. Erica Auxiliadora Martinez. Dr. Amy McFarling. Dr. Caitlin McHugh. Dr. Maria Nana. Dr. Magunth Nandagopal. Dr. Dexter Nguyen. Dr. Gina Tuyet Nguyen. Dr. Joey Nguyen. Dr. Khan Bella Nguyen. Dr. Michi Nguyen. Dr. Siune Novshadian. Dr. Akshaya Palod. Dr. Jin Woo Park. Dr. Ranisha Patel. Dr. Anastasia Petrovska. Dr. Jeffrey Pranaloff. Dr. Ryan Sabo. Dr. Manbir Sandhu. Dr. Scott Seamus. Dr. Somya Sekgal. Dr. Seppi Shafa. Dr. Muhammad Shahab. Dr. Dien Sun. Dr. Lily Agnes Sabo. Dr. Yat T. Tang. Dr. Chaitali Tucker. Dr. Eliza Tran. Dr. Cassie Trung. Dr. Ryan Toonstra. Dr. Brittany Nicole, let's try that again. Dr. Brittany Nicole Vacura. Dr. Maria Socorro Valdez. Dr. Karen Elizabeth Vanberg. And I guess he got that final approval, huh? Dr. Fernando Vargas. Dr. Edward Lorilia Valoria. Dr. Lita Ha Vo. Dr. Tasha Vo. Dr. Adam Joshua Wandell. Dr. Mark Kyoji Watanabe. Dr. Alex Wong. Dr. James Shing. Dr. Yu Yao Shu. Dr. Ruth Jingru Yan. Dr. Grace Manliu Young. And last but not least, Dr. Ping Ting Zhou.
Okay, would the classes of 2017 please stand? Please be seated. Before I hand over to our MC, Dr. Breer, I would like to thank a group of people specifically, and that is the crew that put on today's event. And I'd like to particularly name Tammy Lam and Julia Huang and all of the team. Thank you so much. They did a fabulous job. Everything went like clockwork. So I'd like to hand over now to Dr. Breer to conclude the proceedings.
Thank you. So we've nearly concluded this event. First, I'd like to just check in with Dr. George Taylor in the atrium. Dr. Taylor, can you hear me? Hi, how are things going there? Everything's going well? Fantastic. Did they restock the bar? No? Okay. Sorry to hear that. So I'd like to ask the faculty to raise their right hand. So we are going to exit the stage on the right side. And I'd like to have the faculty stand up. And then I'd like to ask just the graduates to stand up. And I'd like to ask all of their supporters and family members to remain seated. So our faculty will first go through their recession. They will leave the stage and leave. And as the last faculty member leaves, the students will then follow in single file. And I'd like to ask all of the family to remain seated until the last student has left, and then we will all proceed out to the exit. And so now there's just one last thing I'd like to hear from the San Francisco Brass. We'll play some music whilst we exit. Thank you. Thank you all.